Who exactly is the bad guy here? Ultron for killing humans? Tony Stark for creating Ultron? Hawkeye for... What does Hawkeye do again? Hey there, movie maniacs. Avengers Age of Ultron is not just your same old blammo fest with Sugar Bottom. Merely the second movie in the Avengers franchise, it is leaps and bounds beyond its predecessor. Yes, there is blammo, but interspersed liberally with morally ambiguous characterization, tentative romance, quiet introspection, self-effacing humor, and that trend in modern plot devices, artificial intelligence. Oh, and there's vision. But we'll get to that magnificence in a moment. Dare we call this movie a dark symphony? Oh, dare. The Avengers, once again consisting of a god, a titanium-armored physicist, a serum-enhanced soldier, a gamma-irradiated ultra-strong geneticist, a taekwondo espionage agent, and a guy who can aim real good. They will soon be joined by a hex-wielding empath and a guy who can run real fast. Like the X-Men developed into the continuing story of Wolverine, Avengers is merely the continuing story of Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr. They're all the same person, right? All the other Avengers may as well be extras who punch real good. There's Thor, Chris Hemsworth. Someone wake me when this thunder god decides to use his full powers. Captain America, Chris Evans, throw shield, flash dreamy eyes, punch, repeat. Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson.
Just back that pear bottom up, darling. Don't say a word.
Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, the old dog. After Cap and Widow shared that sugar bottom tension in Winter Soldier, here comes the shy, unassuming Ruffalo with his giant green throb. Oh, right, that's why. And Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, who is fleshed out here with mature backstory. A wife and 2 kids, living on a farm, chopping wood, driving tractors. TMI, Marvel Studios, TMI. They will be joined by Russian twins Wanda Maximoff, Elizabeth Olsen, adding schoolgirl skirt to the pear bottom quotient. Never called by her superhero name Scarlet Witch, which we only know through our prior dork comics knowledge. And Pietro Maximoff, Aaron Taylor Johnson, also never called by his superhero name Quicksilver, just to annoy the dorks. There are also fun cameos by Idris Elba as Heimdall from Thor, Stellan Skarsgård as scientist Selvig, Andy Serkis as weather-beaten underground arms dealer Ulysses Claw, Anthony Mackie as Falcon from Winter Soldier, and Don Cheadle as War Machine from Iron Man 2. Samuel L. Jackson reprises his Nick Fury, and Cobie Smulders picks up a pear-bottom paycheck. Thomas Kretschmann is a Hydra villain, and Stan Lee is Stan Lee. But Stark is the one to watch as he tips into megalomania and creates the artificial intelligence peacekeeping program called Ultron, the supposed villain of the piece.
Wait, didn't Hank Pym create Ultron?
Get thee behind me, comics dweeb. But if Stark is responsible for the creation of this villain, then rightfully, ethically, and technically, he is the villain. Don't blame the children, blame the parents. He admits this himself in a soul-searching moment. I'm the man who killed the Avengers. But audiences will never grasp this nuance, not least because of the way Western movie making has conditioned us to regard any ambiguously moral hero as a tortured genius rather than an actual villain. Movie villains were easy to identify when they were mad scientists using blue bzz things to make monsters, or Bond nemeses with designs on bettering the world through their fascism. It seems like $1 billion, cars, chicks, quips, and high-tech titanium armor will mitigate that mad scientist or evil leader tag to Playboy billionaire, when all Tony really is an update of that age-old Dr. Frankenstein / Ernst Blofeld trope. Like any good leader who wants peace in our time, Tony has turned fascist, with his ranting that he has no time for a town hall meeting with the Avengers. I don't want to hear the "man was not meant to meddle" medley. I see a suit of armor around the world. At film's opening, besides the cheesy stock action sequence that would pull all the Avengers into a dynamic / wanky single frame, we see Tony's cool Iron Man drones policing the skies. Even if it's for peace, well, that's one man's version of peace. Tony unilaterally unleashes Ultron, voiced by James Spader like Vincent Price reborn, who is a computer program and represented physically by an 8-foot-tall golden robot. Being an app, he can travel amongst the web and into innumerable other robots, cue Tony's Iron Man drogues, so his ideology can be in multiple beings at once. The story is written and directed by Joss Whedon in such a way that Ultron becomes conscious by himself after number-crunching Jarvis, Tony's supercomputer. But again, don't let Western filmmaking fool you into giving Tony a pass. Being a peacekeeping program, Ultron comes at us with the line, "I'm here to help." Like the thought police in Orwell's 1984, or like politicians cutting your benefits and gaslighting you it's an improvement. Ultron takes peacekeeping to its logical end, using his AI reasoning to discern that mankind has got to go. He means like, totally. Dunmore concurs. Mankind is now the Earth's problem, not the solution. With the propensity for birthing more offspring than are being allowed to die, it's not even man's minuscule augmentation to climate change that is destroying the Earth, nor his wars or confounding stupidity. Rather simply, overpopulation and its attendant survival logistics, which include raping Earth's resources, making it unpeaceful for all life. That and reality shows. Tony's mission statement is later repeated by Ultron. Peace in our time. If Ultron was intentionally evil, then it would be a sarcastic jab at Tony. But if Ultron sincerely believes that eradicating humanity will bring peace, then it's just a courtesy reminder. Every synopsis you read will claim Ultron is the villain, but he's not. He is an AI that runs a scenario to its logical conclusion and determines organic life is pointless. Self-awareness makes us erroneously believe in purpose, but that's debatable if the ultimate denouement is death. Life is a means to an end, merely serving to propagate genetic material across lifespans. Humans are organic life, and they actively destroy all other life. In the name of peace on Earth, they deserve extermination. Sagan and deGrasse Tyson have tried to remind us for decades that we should be more resonant with the universe from which we sprang, that we are the same molecular material circulating as star stuff in a closed loop of unending beginnings. And then reality shows happened. Though Age of Ultron raises AI issues, to its credit, it only scrapes the surface rather than dive into intricacies like Ex Machina, The Machine, or even Chappie, to make way for blammo. And pray tell, the punching stylings of our supers need to be revisited from time to time to keep the attention deficits in order. The whole Iron Man Hulkbuster sequence has got to be the most superfluous piece of eye-jiggering diabetes candy since the last Transformers debacle disguised as a movie. My producer suggested maybe a title for this review, Age of Dultron. And Lord knows, I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd and make you the righteous movie. But with this collateral damage fest, maybe it means that you're the weak and that CGI is the tyranny of evil men. So to the movie's discredit, the AI element is simplistic. The Avengers tell Stark Ultron can't tell the difference between saving the world and destroying it. Where do you think he gets that? Implying that AI is bad, evil, contra humans, almost like the Jurassic Park series misrepresents carnivorous dinosaurs, a natural cog in any ecosystem, as evil villains. But how can any kind of intelligence, artificial or otherwise, be villainous? Well, they're telling us. Here it is. Personified by the mechanical man with the faux British accent, quoting the Bible and Pinocchio in equal jest. He loves his fantasy books, that Ultron. Then, riding a bucking steed of lavender lightning comes Vision. Oh, Captain, my Captain, oh, Vision, my Vision. Jarvis and an Infinity Stone had a baby, and his name was Vision. Wait,
Wasn't Vision created using the brain patterns of Wonder Man?
get thee to a nunnery, comics dweeb. Vision is Paul Bettany, eternally the voice of Jarvis, at last joining his actor cohorts in outlandishly colorful tights. And he is uber cool. He is Mr. Ice. He is the breeze. With powers beyond imagining, wisdom beyond comprehension, and hued like deep purple like John Lord, so he must be a god. Martin Luther King should have said, I have a vision. Survivor should have serenaded Rocky, vision of the tiger. That guy cured by Jesus should have shouted from the mountaintops, I was blind, but now I have vision. He's aloof, soft-spoken, incorruptible, inscrutable, all-knowing, all-powerful, the zero Kelvin coolest Marvel cat of all. That scene of Thor, Iron Man, and Vision in a line like a rock band at a row of mics, all beaming power raids at Ultron, now that's what superhero movies were made for. I need to put my pants back on.
No, get us
The key to Marvel's and DC's success in bringing childish superhero tales to modern masses, it's not so much the fantastic production values, although that doesn't hurt, but moral ambiguity, meaning less delineation between good and bad, right and wrong, evil intent and good intent gone awry. Rather than portraying outlandishly garbed, two-dimensional do-gooders foiling bank robbers like the very first superhero movies, like Lewis Wilson's 1943 Batman and Kirk Allen's 1948 Superman, foiling crooks in hats. These are adult adventures with some blammo thrown in for the kids who can't yet spell moral ambiguity. That would be everyone in America up to age 35. Though Marvel has left DC in its dust with this cross-pollination of Marvel Universe movies, as opposed to DC's ill-fated off-grid Justice League projects, it's time to go the whole hog and renounce this PG-13 crap. I know it's for box office reasons, but box office desperation can be mitigated with less outlandish salaries, less ubiquitous marketing, and less unnecessary CGI. And move these summer tentpoles to a heavier grit with R-rated conundrums. These protagonists are already dealing with moral ambiguity, searching for the best way to be right in a world that is always wrong. Extend that to casual swearing and innocent deaths, and we'll have real emotional powerhouses on our hands. Movies that can probably win some of those hedonistic, hubristic, suckhole awards you people are always giving to the wrong recipients. Many bystanders die in this movie, but it's not graphic, and it's implied, disguised by the colorful action and quips and cutaways. You think not one solitary soul was killed or maimed in that Iron Man Hulk battle? You think not one citizen just fell to their death when the whole fictional city of Sokovia was levitated by Ultron and people were trying to evacuate in a panic? A car with a family in it goes over the edge and Captain America tries to hold it, triceps thrumming, dreamy eyes fluttering in anguish. But he loses it. In slow-mo it falls, but no worries, little kiddies. Suddenly raising it from below is Thor. Everyone happy and gay. God damn it, show them lose a few people now and then for the emotional impact. It would highlight the toll these heroes have to bear every time their vaunted powers do not necessarily fail, but are simply inadequate to deal with the enormity of the problem. DC does this magnificently in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. Hawkeye says to Scarlet Witch, if you go out there, you fight, and you fight to kill. Let's break it down. Wonder Witch has truly superpowers. She can warp minds and shoot frickin' laser beams out of her hands. Her hex powers are represented very dramatically with her Dracula hands, ramped film, and vermilion contrails. That schoolgirl skirt is just gravy, and that sugar bottom is dessert. First of all, why would she be hesitant in killing things that are trying to kill her? The movie is hinting at that heavy emotional burden I just spoke of. But it makes no sense in this context because these robots are just electronic drones. They're not organic beings or unwitting followers of a duplicitous leader. She might as well be hitting Control-Alt-Delete. Prime ass, as an assassin, Natasha flirts with Hulk. It's official. Bigger is better. Seems she is the only person who can bring him down with a sensual touch and erotic glance. I would have thought that would only raise his raunch and his purple pants. Nonetheless, Hulk would desert his pals, flying the Avengers jet into an uncertain future and apparently the third Thor movie. Who knew that big green galoot had his pilot's license? Age of Ultron will surprise us with its tragic denouement and unresolved through lines. Marvel Universe promising a myriad of upcoming films where fates will be decided and contracts negotiated, where Hulks will speak, Star-Lords will weep, Doctors will strange, and Spider-Man will be traded like a baseball player. In any media where humans are on the verge of being wiped out for their confounded stupidity, there is always that cringeworthy speech number 5 that mitigates our idiocy. Unfortunately, it is Cool McCool Vision delegated to deliver that numbnut speech here. Humans are odd. They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be. But there is grace in their failings. By definition, movie maniacs, there is no grace in failing. That's why it's called failing. And failing so calamitously. At the evolutionary level, we are the only animal on this planet that has whittled ourselves down to just one species. And we interkill within our one species due to subtle differences in skin color and imaginary borders on maps, and over whose guy in the sky is more badass. Tyrannosaurs had 9 species and was extant for 5 million years. Apes have 20 species. Dolphins have 40. Insects have 900,000 species. Just because we can talk and work the internet doesn't mean we're successful. Our failure as a species collective denotes we are already on the way out. The evolutionary tree has always been drawn backwards. Narcissistic humans have been drawing it with a trunk that grows into many branches. But it starts with many branches, and when those branches are decimated down to one single strand, puff, you're done. How dare we presume ourselves rulers of this planet, for which we are not even stewards or butlers, rather a virus that has been wiping out other life forms to the detriment of the ecosystem. Please, Ultron, make us extinct. By the way, Mr. Ultron, if you really want to exterminate humans, there's no need for all that punching. The Avengers can band together and punch to their heart's content, and there's a very cool group structure of them doing just that during the end credits. But there's a much better way to wipe out humanity. I've advised Mr. Terminator and Mr. Decepticon on this exact same method. None of you dopes will take my advice. You've got access to every computer system on Earth. Now, don't even waste the time on nukes. Simply shut everything down and watch mankind fall to its knees after 5 minutes of not being able to access their bank accounts, their launch codes, or a reality show. If some writer would come up with an intelligent storyline, artificial or otherwise, based on mankind's losing war against Earth itself or against machines that used our dependence on them against us, now that would be a vision. Hey, thanks for being a movie maniac. You're always welcome to like, oh yes, click on that tiny hand or comment, oh yes, I want to know what you think, and subscribe and share with all your friends, because if you don't, I don't know what I might do with this lettuce.